Hi, boys and girls. Please make sure your math workbook is open to page 165 so you can follow along with me. Also, if you have your math manipulatives bag that has counters in it, please take them out now as we'll be using them to help us make an array for today's lesson. So today's lesson in math is that we are going to learn how to model a multiplication problem using an array to help us solve and find a product or an answer to the problem. Okay, so have out your counters from your math manipulatives bag if you have it, a pencil, and your math workbook open to page 165. And let's get started. The word problem on page 165 reads, "Many people grow tomatoes in their gardens. Lee plants 3 rows of tomato plants with 6 plants in each row. How many tomato plants are there?" Well, I'm going to circle some important information in our word problem. So I'm going to find a shape to circle. I want to circle that there's 3 rows. You can do the same in your workbook. I'm going to circle that there are 3 rows of tomato plants. And I'm also going to circle that there are 6 plants in each row. So that's going to tell us what our array is going to look like. Now, an array is an arrangement of items into equal rows and columns. For us, we're going to set them up so that we have 6 plants in each of 3 rows. So I'm going to pull out, I'm going to make a circle to be my tiles or my counters. So I'm going to set up a circle here and I'm going to fill it in red. Okay. So I need an array that has 3 rows of 6 tiles. So I'm going to start by putting 6 in one row. And you can be doing the same with your counters on your table or in your book as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to do the same to make a second row and put 6 counters in my second row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, I put too many in my first row. So now I have 2 rows of 6. I need a third row of 6. So I'm making my array. An array is when you put items in equal columns and rows. So I now have an array that shows my 3 rows of tomato plants that has 6 plants in each row. Now we need to decide how many plants are there in all of these rows. So we're going to multiply. Looking underneath the box in your book, it says find the total number of tiles. We're going to multiply 3 rows of 6. Remember, we look at that X as rows of, groups of, jumps on a number line of. So we have 3 rows of 6. Now we can count by 6s, or we can count all of the counters. So to do 3 times 6, I'm going to count 6, 12, 18. So there are 18 counters in my array, which means there are 18 tomato plants. So I'm going to fill this in here and say that there are 3 times 6 equals 18. So that means there are 18 tomato plants in the garden. Okay, so we use our counters to make an array. And now you can go back in your math workbook if you choose, and you can draw the array that we made with the counters in this box here. We made sure that we showed the 3 rows of 6 plants to show the tomato plants, and we multiplied 3 times 6 equals 18. Now it's your turn in your slides to show multiplication by either drawing an array or looking at an array that's already there for you. Remember, an array is items in equal rows and columns.